into it, and this is only the second year. And in its inaugural year, it became the largest single fishing tournament in the province of New Brunswick. Tens of thousands of dollars worth of prizes being given away. There's shore, and plus you don't need a boat. There is a shore fishing category. You can catch big stripers from shore. And you don't have to guess where they're fishing. Because they're fishing everywhere. You see pictures from the Miramichi, and there's people standing on the banks as far as you can see. And they're all catching fish. The boats, it's just, you'll see boats that will set up, and there'll be 20 boats in a spot, and they're all catching big fish. And they don't have to crowd each other. It's not like they have to come out of one pocket. They're coming out of the whole river. So I really encourage anyone, especially those of you from outside of New Brunswick, because I'm sure if you're a fishing enthusiast from here in New Brunswick, you already know a fair bit about this event. But if you're not from here in New Brunswick, look it up. Google it. Miramichi Striper Cup. I probably should spell that. M-I-R-A-M. Oh, crap. I can get it right when I'm writing, but when I'm driving and trying to talk, I know I'm going to screw something up. Miramichi, M-I-R-A-M-I-C-H-I. I hope that's right. Anyways, Miramichi Striper Cup. A door prize. How's this for a door prize, ladies and gentlemen? How about I believe it's valued at roughly $20,000 Canadian boat for a door prize. Every angler gets ballots. It's so many for a shore angler, so I don't know the exact numbers right off the top of my head, but there's so many ballots for a shore angler, so many ballots for a boat angler, or so many ballots per boat. And somebody wins by draw at the end of the weekend a $20,000 boat. Last year, it was won, if memory serves me correctly, by a 16-year-old shore angler. How much you want to bet that young man's not fishing from shore this year? There's sponsor after sponsor have stepped up. Bass Pro is involved. Shimano is involved. There's a lot. Mercury is directly involved. There's a lot of great companies from within our industry that have stepped up and really gotten involved with the Miramichi Striper Cup. And guess what? Just because the Atlantic salmon fishery has declined, that's what the Miramichi River, if many of you may recognize that name as the famous mighty Miramichi, the world-class salmon fishery. Well, unfortunately, primarily thanks to less than adequate international commercial fishing regulations, the Atlantic salmon fishery has taken a bit of a beating. They're still fishing there, but it's not as strong as it used to be. Well, just because the salmon fishing has declined doesn't mean that the Miramichi is still not mighty. The bass fishing, the striped bass fishing, I guess I have to be clear on that. This is not a smallmouth or largemouth body of water. This is striped bass. You're not talking the chance of getting a 5-pound fish. You're talking the chance of getting a 30 or 40-pound fish. A 5-pounder would just be, oh, isn't that cute? That's just another day at the office. And it's not that there's one or two fish up there. As I said before, you could almost walk across the river on the backs of these fish. I have had friends up there recently catching anywhere from 100 to 200 fish per person per day. Spend 8 or 9 hours on the water and catch a couple hundred fish. So if you're not from New Brunswick, or even if you are from New Brunswick but you're not familiar with the event, check it out. Miramichi Striper Cup. It's this Saturday and Sunday. If you're close by and you can get there, it's a relatively affordable event. Obviously it's a 2-day event, so you've got to travel, you've got to stay, so there's a little cost there. But $150 entry fee for the 2 days will put you on the water with up to a 4-person team on a boat. So even if you only go 2 people, $75 a piece with a shot at winning $5,000. It's not bad numbers. So check it out, ladies and gentlemen. Miramichi Striper Cup, an amazing event. Hats off to the city of Miramichi for embracing it. Hats off to Jeff Wilson and all his people that have got involved in organizing it and putting the work in. And it's really a feather in everybody's hat. Keep an eye out for the Fins and Skins episode. I know Ben's coming down, but I don't know the name of his program. And even if I did, if it's in French, I'd probably screw up the pronunciation of it. So if you happen to watch French language programming and you know what Ben's show is, keep an eye out for it, because like I said, he's coming down to film an episode as well. Nothing personal, as far as not being able, not a slight that I'm not giving Ben a better plug. I just, quite frankly, don't know the name of his show, and as I said, if it's in French, I'd screw up the pronunciation, no doubt. So, it's an exciting time here in New Brunswick. Like I said, we come out of our Nakowick Open, the oldest bass tournament in the country, and the very next weekend, I wish I could be going, but unfortunately it didn't work out this year as I had hoped. But straight into the Miramichi Striper Cup. It's really 2 massive back-to-back weekends here in New Brunswick, and it really goes to show the strength of the fishing community here on the East Coast. There are teams from well outside of New Brunswick. There are teams I know of from Quebec. I have heard tell of teams coming out of the U.S. for this year. Last year, I believe there was a couple anglers from Florida that participated in the inaugural event. So it's a big event, and it's going to get bigger. So take a look at it, check it out if you're in the area. There's a rib fest going on. There's going to be entertainment, music, food, beverages of the family-friendly and adult variety. Just a full weekend of events going on in the Miramichi. So if you're anywhere handy and you can do so, go check that out. What else can I say? It's been eventful. I appreciate everyone sticking with me as I went through that couple of rough weeks where I was in my own head and kind of inside out on recording and not putting my best into it. It's been an experience and a half, but I'm adjusting, and like I say, this change in days. Wednesdays, I think, is going to work a little better for me. Going forward, I am going to try and get back to doing them in the morning, so they're out there bright and early. May even record Tuesday nights. Just all depends on how things go, but Wednesdays are now my day. It's just a better fit for my schedule with everything my family does and everything I do personally. And being self-employed, I have to look at how my week plays out, and Wednesdays are definitely the better fit for me. So hopefully it'll be the better fit for some of our listeners, and or maybe more listeners, and we can start attracting a bigger audience. I don't know what else to say to everyone who has supported me other than thank you. And it's been a ride. Like I said, I'm still learning a lot. Needless to say, I'm not shy, but I had to learn how to do this. I've done a lot of microphone work over the years, but never actually done a broadcast type show. I've done interviews here and there. We'll have another one coming up here in a few weeks with regards to our Fishing for Memories event. But anyways, I'm rambling. That is what it is. This is a work in progress for me, and I really do appreciate all of you hanging in there with me. As for my New Brunswick listeners, please be aware of the next little while where you're fishing. I'm not going to tell you to not go fishing. Obviously the retention period is not open yet. But just be aware of where you're fishing. You know, the fish are on beds. Some of them have been there for the better part of a week now. You know, the spawn is on. Just be aware. If you are bed fishing, you know, get them in, get them out of the water, get them back in. Get the hooks out of them, get them back in. If you know you're going to fish beds, you know you can't keep these fish. Fish barbless hooks, make your release quicker. Get them back in the water so they can protect those beds. You know, it doesn't take long for a bed to be decimated if there's a predator in the area. So, get them out of the water. Get them, if you can coax them to bite, which, you know, here it's going to happen. They'll turn back on here very shortly. We've got some warmer weather coming, but just be conscious, respect the resource. I know some places you're not allowed to target. Like I said, I'm basically speaking about here in New Brunswick right now. But, don't, you know, if you're going to target them, and you're going to target them on their beds, if you want to fish off beds, you can find a bunch of fish that are off the beds already, or juveniles. You know, if you're just going to go out fun fishing, you're not looking for big mama. You're just looking to get a hook in some fish, then by all means, get a hook in some fish, you know. But if you're fishing beds, like I said, just respect the resource. Be aware of it. Get them out of the water, get the hook out, get them back in. So we can have those little baby bass that are starting to grow and replenish our stocks, and keep this fishery thriving, because it's a good one. It's a good one that a lot of people seem to forget is here. So get it out there. You know, get those fish back in the water, or change it up a little bit. This is a month of, or the coming month, the month of June, is the month for pickerel tournaments, and there's a pile of them coming up. So change focus for a few weeks. Let the bass rest, let them do their thing. Maybe go find some chain pickerel. And, you know, we have some great events, like coming up on the 25th of June, we have our Fishing for Memories charity event in support of the Alzheimer's Society, our 5th anniversary. You know, there's all kinds of things going on. Take a look around Facebook. You'll find something in your area. You know, there's something just about every weekend for the month of June. So, ladies and gentlemen, that has been another episode of NB Bassin. I got to run down the list one more time. Fish Bum Outfitters, Southern Yankee Baits, War Dog Lures, Northern Michigan Outfitters, Hooked on Canadian Angling Media Group, and Carrot Sticks. Proud to announce them again. Thank you to all of these companies for supporting me and for giving me the opportunity to represent you. And to my wife and to my son, my two biggest cheerleaders, thank you very much, because without you, I can't do what I do. And to each and every one of you who take the time to listen, thank you, because without you, there's no point in me doing what I do. Excuse me. Ending the show with coughing in your ear. Before I do it again, folks, I'm going to let you go. Thank you very much. Please tune in again next week. Remember, we have moved to Wednesdays. This is not just a one-week thing. This is going to be a weekly move. We are staying on Wednesdays for the foreseeable future. So, ladies and gentlemen, please join us again next week. Thank you very much for joining us. Set the hook and keep those lines tight.